All right, y'all, ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live. We in the building, about to have another fabulous show as we do every single week. We got a big one, y'all. We got special guests in the room. We got guests dropping in we didn't expect to have. We had scheduled guests. But tonight's show, we're going to focus on lupus. What is it? Who gets it? How do you treat it? We're going to talk about that. We got some what the hell. And we always got to take a walk through the sham purple room with our brother, Mr. 3375. We packed tonight, and we glad that you are here with us. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J is live right now.
It's about that time. It's about that time to get.
Button your lip, open your ears, strap on your thinking cap. Socially conscious talk that's entertaining with a dash of humor and the top sports stories of the week. It's time for Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. He hits one deep to right center. That ball is out of here. The Yankees win the pennant.
If they lying, then they must be half stepping. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J is live. We in the building. Be down with us tonight at 804-402-2893. Be down with the flagship show heard live from the Dana Legacy Internet Radio. Thank you to those folks that are checking us out right now on the live stream on Facebook. Shout out to Facebook Live. Shout out to those folks listening to us right now on TuneIn, on your smartphone, tablet, iPhone, whatever it is you rocking with. You rocking with that, you rocking with us, we rolling with y'all. Shout out to those folks that are listening to us right now on Streamer, as well as the replays on iTunes and on YouTube. As I said before, you rock with us, we roll with y'all. 804-402-2893 is the number to dial to be a part of tonight's discussion. We got a big one tonight, y'all. As I mentioned to y'all in the official lead-in, a lot to get to. I'm not going to waste no time. I'm going to get the introductions in, starting off with my brother, my partner, the utility player. This brother here makes sure that everybody is comfortable and everybody has what they need. He is my brother, Mr. 3375. What up, Jay?
What's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Mentally drained, but I'm good, man.
Mentally drained? There's a lot of that going on. But you know what? We're going to gather our energy and form like Voltron in this joint tonight.
Yes.
You know,
this good energy now.
You digging it?
Yeah.
You digging it? Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, the folks on Facebook Live know who you're getting that good energy from. But for those folks listening to us right now, you can't see if you're just listening.
Right.
So those folks, they need to know that we got our sister, our clairvoyant medium, our sister Shayna Latias up in this joint. What's up, Shayna?
Good evening.
How you doing today?
I'm okay.
You doing all right?
I'm doing good.
I'm glad to see you. It's
Pop-up surprise.
Pop-up surprise and whatnot. It's definitely good to have you here. And, of course, rejoining Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. One half of the brother and sister shenanigans. The other half should be here. The better half. The other half, the funny-looking big bro half will be here in a little while. But our sister Kim is up in this joint. What's up, Kim?
Not much. What's going on?
We are fabulous. We are chilling. We doing just fine. It's good to see you back here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You ready to have a good show?
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about lupus later on.
Yes, we are.
You want to give them just a little itty bitty tiny little tease. Just a tiny little tease. Don't give them too much.
It's not cancer and you can't catch it.
There you go. It's not cancer and you can't catch it, but we will, in fact, talk about lupus here on Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. live from the Dan of Legacy Internet Radio later on in the show. Actually, hopefully in the next segment. That is the plan for right now. But we are going to ask the question, what the hell we have to ask that question every single week because people kind of, as our sister Tony would say on the second Monday, act a donkey. That's what she would say, or some folks would act a damn fool. Jay, the first question I'm going to ask is, if you were a producer standing off screen in a live television show, would you hand a sweater to someone that you felt was dressed inappropriately, or would you just get him a sweater before they went on live TV?
I would give it to them before they came on live TV.
Yeah.
And I seen that, and I personally don't see nothing wrong with what she got on.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm looking at the news story. Liberté Chan reports the weather outside through storms after another, and a weird one kind of brewed on Saturday. I'm reading. I didn't write this. During her weather report, Chris Burrows, a weekend anchor for the LA-based news channel, holds a gray sweater in his arm and stretches it into the frame. Chan was wearing a thin strap black dress, looks surprised when the disembodied arm hovers into the corner of the screen. What is going on? You want me to put this on? Why? Because it's cold. This is what she asked. They're getting a lot of emails, is what he responded. I look like a librarian now, is what she said. It is very awkward. And while I asked Kim to give me her opinion of this, I don't know if you've seen the story. If you have, that's great. But if not, that is a picture of the dress that she's wearing and the sweater that she's been given. I actually saw the video, and obviously I can't show the whole video to the folks on the radio. Right. But I'm going to try, as you're talking, Kim, to show the picture to those folks looking at the live stream right now on Facebook.
So, yeah, I caught this earlier today, and I must say that while it's not what I would choose to wear to work, I think that she was appropriately attired. And I think that the co-anchor, it was rude and disrespectful, and it was offensive. If, like you said, if he had a problem with her outfit, first of all, who cares? He's just the co-anchor. I mean, if the producer didn't have a problem, then he shouldn't have had anything to say, or it should have been addressed off screen.
Here's where I want to go, and Shane, I want you to respond to this. Yeah, I know you do. Here's what I want to say about this. Well, you know what? I won't say it. I'll wait till my turn. Shane, jump in here. What do you think about this?
Well, honestly, the way that the weather women are looking now, I don't think there was nothing wrong with her now. The Hispanic weather woman, I want you to pull her up because everyone knows her. I don't know her name.
The one in Brazil?
Yes. Yeah, but she's every man I know about this woman. She is.
Yes, sir.
I don't want. A prisoner told me about her and that they watch her at 5 o'clock. They don't even speak Spanish, but they watch her.
There's no need
because she wears bathing suits.
She wild out, man.
I mean, I think honestly, personally, I think she looks great. Hey, if you got it,
I'm sure they have great weather in Brazil.
I mean, they get the best ratings for watching the weather because people don't even speak Spanish. Watch this woman. Yeah. Honestly, I don't see anything with anything that she has on, and I think that was a little bit of hateration because they could have said something to her before she went on. Why would anybody just hand her a sweater for the whole world to see? Like, someone was clearly trying to embarrass her.
Absolutely.
I think that
there was a hater in the room.
If you read the rest of it, it talks about how how anchors will just be dressed from the waist up because that's all we can see when we're watching TV.
Right.
And so they were saying that like he should have stepped onto the screen because like he had on shorts. Like he wasn't even dressed appropriately.
So he wasn't even dressed appropriate.
Yeah.
So he basically, I didn't know that part, Kim.
Yeah.
So, because I used to do television, I know a little bit about how oftentimes they'll, like you said, they'll be wearing, their underneaths doesn't match their overtops. You know what I mean? Like they'll be wearing a blazer and a shirt and tie, and
cargo pants
right. Or sweatpants or
right.
something like that. I mean, I graduated from high school with a cat that was wearing a pair of Timbs and his boxers under, because he just felt like that's how he wanted to have that memory set up.
Right.
So when you ain't got a show, then you ain't got a show.
Right.
But the lady has to show, and that's where I wanted to go, and I want you guys to address this next point. Is there a level of sexism here that is quite frankly obvious. In my opinion, there is, simply because of, I don't see anything wrong with her dress.
Right.
Me
Do
either.
you think that they would have done that to a man that didn't have a tie on?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
they would not.
So how do we feel about that, ladies?
I think that's wrong, because I think she looks great. I just, the way the anchors, if you look at TV now on the news, the way the anchors are dressing, they are dressing a little bit more sexy. They are looking a little bit more, a little bit more casual than, formal dress, how they traditionally used to be. So I personally just think that someone was mad that it could have been a man upset because she would have got more ratings.
But you know what I found? You know what I found, Kim? I found that men are far more offended by pretty girls than other pretty girls, if that makes sense.
They're offended because that's his dream woman.
Okay.
And he thinking he don't have a shot.
Okay.
So I need to pull her down a couple of pegs.
Is that what it is?
I think that's a part of it. I mean, women can be vicious,
Right.
to each other as well.
Right.
But I think when you have an industry that is built on looks,
Right.
he's probably the dude with a pot belly,
Right.
living
Living in his
Not
mama's
even
basement.
attractive.
Living in his mama's basement.
Right,
Just
exactly.
hate on her because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, she's gonna get all the ratings.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I would like to take it in a different direction if we're going to talk about what she has on.
Right.
Sexism, obviously, but does the weather station have a dress code? If she's not outside of that, your opinion is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't even,
Right.
there are rules set up for a reason. So if there's a dress code that she was in default of, that's
Right.
one thing. But if you just don't want her to have on a sparkly dress,
Yeah.
it also said that she had another outfit on, but it wouldn't show up on the green screen.
So that's why
so
she
she had to change. So maybe this was her
That's all she had.
going out later outfit,
Right, right.
but she had to put it on.
Well, what about, I don't want to go too far because I got a couple more I want to get to, but I don't know if you guys heard the story. It's been a couple of stories, actually, and I can't cite where it was, but I just remember generally the story about the sister who they didn't like her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have viewers that were, complaining about how ethnic this sister was looking. You remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one. There was also one with a Caucasian anchor who was overweight,
Right.
and somebody wrote in and told her if she was going to be on screen, she needed to lose some weight. And she was like, I know I'm fat,
I remember that one.
She was like,
I
you're not telling me stuff I don't know.
Remember. I do remember that one.
Yeah,
it's just
so-
people are mean, and not only people mean, real talk, people are punks, man.
Yep.
People are punks. They don't have Steppin with Marcus J live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. All right, Mr. 3375, as men, we up first on this one. Ladies, stand down for just a minute. Boston doctors perform penis implant. Yes, sir. Doctors at Massachusetts General Hospital performed the first U.S. penis implant, they said Monday, calling it a, quote, landmark procedure. Thomas Manning, he's 64, recovering well after the 15-hour procedure performed by a team of 50 surgeons, doctors, and nurses this month, according to the hospital.
That's crazy.
Manning of Halifax, Massachusetts, had his penis, he had his penis amputated after he was diagnosed with penile cancer in 2012. The procedure, also described by the doctors as a surgical milestone, is called genitourinary vascularized composite allograft, or GUVCA. It involves, quote, surgically grafting the complex microscopic vascular and neural structures of the donor organ and the comparable structures of the recipient, end quote. Put another way, surgeons connected the intricate vascular and nerve structures of the donor penis with those of the 64-year-old recipient. I'm trying so hard to be a grown-up as I'm reading this. So just bear with me, listeners. Just bear with me, listeners and crew, for just a minute. Let me see. I'm skimming through the parts that I want to get into. The doctor said that the objectives of the surgery were primarily to reconstruct genitalia so that it appeared natural, followed by urinary function and hopefully sexual function. However, the doctor added that while sexual function is a goal, reproduction is not, because of concerns surrounding the ethical issues of who the potential father may be. Oh my God! Oh my God! Almost done. I'm reading. I read it earlier, but man, it's really hitting me now. All right. Although Manning is still healing from the surgery, you think, his doctor said there are no signs of bleeding, rejection, or infection, and they are cautiously optimistic that he will regain function. They expect him to leave the hospital in the next 3 or 4 days. You got a new penis, and you're going to be in the hospital only for a couple of days? Yeah, you're going to keep me until I can.
I'm going to stand down. I am. But
go ahead. Come on. Come on.
I just need to address the fact that his body could reject his penis.
So instead of his lady rejecting his penis,
body could reject
he can reject it too.
Yeah,
my question is, he's 64, right? So he's 64. How old is the penis?
I don't know.
It is a cadaver penis.
It is cadaver.
Off of a dead, well, not
and I get
it.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J live from the Dan Legacy Internet Radio. We got a call on the live line. Caller, what's your name? What you want to get in on?
Hey, Marcus. This is Tiffany in Chicago. Old friend of yours.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing? It's good to hear from you. Ain't talked to you in a long time.
I'm well. I'm just scrolling through Facebook, and I saw that you posted something regarding the POTUS and the transgender in the bathrooms.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that one. We haven't actually gotten to that one yet. But I tell you what, if you want to lead it off, I had that one set for later on, but I hear your little homies in the background, so I'm not sure you're going to be able to call me back. So go ahead, and we'll come back to the penile implant thing that we're talking about now.
I want you to I'm going to let you call me, or I'll call you back.
Okay.
When it comes to the transgender, because my second grader, 8-year-old daughter, who is in private school that we pay a lot of money for, came home last week and told me that there is a boy in her class who is now to be referred to as a girl.
Well, you know what? We're not going to wait. If you got a minute now, let's get into that right now. We'll come back to the penis implant thing that we're talking about, because this is definitely something that we wanted to talk about. And so, tell us about your daughter. Go for it.
Okay, because I'm struggling with this.
Yes.
I consider myself a liberal progressive, and this has forced me to really kind of take a good look at myself and how I view things. But basically, when I picked my daughter from school last week, she got in the car and told me that so-and-so was no longer that, and she is to be referred by this new name, and that she will be using the girls' restroom. So I was, taken aback, of course, but my big thing was, why am I hearing this from my child and not the school? Anyway, fast forward, the school sent an email out. They were blindsided as well. Apparently, the child and his mom came in that day, and it was like, bam. And the child, in her excitement, I'm trying to, train my mind to call her, went and told the other kids before the school could come up with an execution plan. But basically, so she's not going to be using the girls' bathroom. She's going to be using the adult, gender-neutral bathrooms in the building. And when they have swimming every Wednesday, she's going to change in the girls' changing room first by herself, and then the other girls will be allowed. But, and here's how I feel. I'm all for marriage equality. I'm all for gay rights. I'm all about live and let live. I don't have a problem with transgender people. I don't believe that transgender people want to, rape and molest kids in the bathrooms at all. However, I do believe that if we make a law where people can use any bathroom that they identify with, you're opening the door for people who are predators to be waiting. I don't know if you heard about this, but in Chicago last week as well, ironically, an 8-year-old girl was attacked in a deli bathroom, women's bathroom, by a grown heterosexual man that was just sick and a predator that went into the restroom and attacked the little girl.
Right. Well, because this is a hot button story, I think many of us have found ourselves having this conversation quite frequently. Here's what I will say. Like you, I tend to skew liberally with regards to my views and such. Politically, I make a point of not choosing a side because I know that the blue wing and the red wing are part of the purple bird, and neither side is for us. So I don't get down like that with regards to the actual politics of it. But as black folk, I think that we would be irresponsible to be a part of any kind of disrespect or any kind of holding back of another community. So I agree. I support gay people and transgender rights and all of those things. I would caution them to try to put themselves in a position like we as black folk have, because y'all ain't, it's not the same. But having said all of that, when we were coming up, and we're all generally within the same age, we're in our 30s and 40s here, we all in the same age. When we was coming up, they just called those people cross-dressers. You know what I mean? They went into the bathroom that they felt like they went to. 5 years ago, you were in the bathroom with transgender people. Let's all be clear about that. Y'all on Facebook who are looking at us live right now, y'all too. You know what I mean? Those folks that are listening to us right now on TuneIn, y'all too. So the fact that they're legislating this is nothing to me, simply because it's more smokescreen stuff. Like, we really are finding ourselves fighting and arguing over things that doesn't matter. Now, if we're talking about children in a school, Tiffany, we're talking about your situation specifically, completely different situation. I saw the ladies in here when you were talking, they were both nodding because they agree that the school should have kind of been ahead of that. But if we're talking about generally, we're talking about grown people, man, I don't care, because if I go to a public bathroom, I'm standing at the stall, and if you're a chick that can actually stand there next to me, then go ahead and do your business. I mean, I don't really care about that. And if I happen to have to go sit down, I got a door that I can close anyway. It really doesn't matter to me. Now, children, it's different because you're going to have a conversation with your child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to need to explain to your child what's going on with his or her classmate. And so I'm thinking that's mostly what your concern is, based upon the other things that you said. I'm guessing that is.
Well, yes. And my other point is, and this is how I feel that our society does not protect women and children. You go in the bathroom, Marcus, and there's a woman who identifies as being a man and lives her life as a man. She goes in. She's not a threat to you. I go in the bathroom, and there's a man who identifies as a woman or a predator or whatever, because I don't even want to say the transgender people or whatever, but there's a predator, a sexual predator in there ready to attack. It's harder for me to defend myself or be safe, or my child, my girl child or my boy child or whatever.
That's true, but my caution to my caution.
I feel like
let's go back and forth. Let's go back and forth in the interest of time. Mm-hmm. Let's go back and forth in the interest of time. My response to that was, those folks were already there. You may not have known it. You didn't know it. But those folks were already there. So someone is already, like, if you're a criminal, you're gonna be a criminal no matter what law is on the books. In certain states, including our state here in Virginia, if you kill somebody, you might get the death penalty. But we got 24 murders here in Richmond already this year, which is certainly not on par with other cities. But the point is, having a law doesn't mean that that's a deterrent, or doesn't mean that it's going to make people do more than what they would have already done. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. And I guess before last week, when it wasn't my kids saying, hey, I feel uncomfortable changing in the bathroom with so-and-so because I don't want to see anything inappropriate, because at the end of the day, Mommy, he still has his part.
Right. Hold tight, Tiffany, hold tight, as Kim wants to jump in. Kim, jump in.
Well, I just think I can understand Tiffany's perspective. and this is not about agreeing or disagreeing with, transgender and bathrooms and all of that, but I think that when it hits home, when it's your house, she says she thinks she's a progressive woman, but these are her kids. And I think that's what people are losing in this debate. It's, as long as it's an abstract concept, yes, cross-dressers have always been there. Yes, pedophiles are going to do pedophilic things, but when it's your baby, that's something different.
No, I could dig it. I totally dig it. And
I want you, and I'm sorry, and I want you to know, Marcus, that after the dust settled, after I spoke to the school, like, really, dude, you're gonna let my 8-year-old come home and tell me this? You don't even have, and they explained, this was dumped on us at 8:00 this morning. We had no, we've been scrambling. I get that, or whatever.
Right.
I went and spoke to that child's mother.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I'm a mother before anything. And as this, uncomfortable as I am to have this discussion with my child, I recognize the pain that that mother's in, having to deal with this.
Right.
Because essentially you are mourning the death of your hopes and dreams for this child that you carried and was born a certain way, and now you realize, well, it's a different story.
Right.
So I wanted to reach out to her and let her know that, above anything, we're a community.
Did she,
And-
just in the interest of curiosity, now the curiosity is getting a hold of me, did she receive you in what you felt was an appropriate manner?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We cried together. We hugged each other.
Okay.
I wanted her to know that, even though I may not understand and I may disagree with certain things, we're still a community and we are inclusive, and her child is welcome and she is welcome.
Well, that's
and whatever I could do to support her is what I will do.
That says a lot about you as a woman and as a person, and the example that you set for your child and her child is exemplary. And so I'm happy to hear that story, and I'm proud, to be a friend of you, to know that there's people out here that's still trying to do the right thing and not getting caught up in personal feelings. You don't have to agree with a person's personal lifestyle or personal choices to still hold them down and love them. As we say on this show, you rock with me, I'm gonna roll with you. And so none of that actually matters as far as what the child is doing. The child's a human being and they deserve respect. And so I appreciate you doing that. Tiffany, thank you so much for calling us tonight. You got a home here. We need to have you back on so we can talk some more about what's going on in your hood in Chicago, because Chicago, we had you on to talk about it, kind of as an official guest in the past. We might need to talk about doing that again soon. Okay, well, you take care. As you can hear, I'm being summoned. You hear the mommies in the background, but I just wanted to share that with you since I saw on Facebook that was a topic of discussion for you guys today. I'm glad we moved it up because it was a conversation that we needed to have kind of immediately. So thank you. And if you can do me something, do a favor for me, can you give the minis a high five from me? Absolutely. All right, be cool. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Peace. And have Steppin with Marcus J live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Of course, it's time to go back to what we were discussing a minute ago. We were talking about the penile transplant. But before we do that, let me go and introduce, because I dropped it on them that way for a reason. I want to go and introduce the folks that just walked in the room. We got our sister Nick is up in the joint. What's up, Nick? What up? Turn that mic on. Check that mic, Mr. 33. Check that mic, Mr. 3375. Make sure that it's turned on and whatnot. And as we are checking on that mic, I'm setting up the other cordless microphone. Yeah, there we go. That's better. What up? Yeah, there you go. You was doing the Martin response. What up?
Hi, what's up?
What's going on, Nick?
How are you?
Doing fabulous and whatnot. And of course, this brother joins me every joins us every third Monday, whatnot. He is one half of the brother and sister shenanigans you've been hearing. His baby sis going through the show with us tonight. We got Big Bro Joe up in this joint. What's up? Nothing. So I ain't even gonna give him the whole description, Shayna. I'm gonna just
Why not?
I ain't giving him the whole description
Somebody
because of the look on his face. I'm gonna just throw him in the fire and not even
see
tell
what
him. And I ain't
happens.
even gonna tell him what we talked about. I'm gonna just
put the fire out.
I just want to know what you think about penile and penile
Transplants.
Transplant. I keep stumbling over that word.
Wait, you mean implants or transplants?
Transplants.
You mean transplanting a penile from one person to another?
Yeah, because because you had cancer and yours was amputated.
You can get a fake one.
So you'd rather have a fake one than
I don't want no dead man dick.
Really?
I don't want no dead man dick.
Really?
I don't want no dead man's dick.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Yeah. We're saying penile for a reason, brother.
Oh, okay. I don't want no dead man's penile.
There you go. I had to coach him to that. I had to actually coach him to that. Yeah.
I won't half stepping though.
Yeah, no, you wasn't.
I'm so
He
ashamed.
won't have stepping.
Hey, Mr. 3375, we haven't really had, the ladies over here grinning, enjoying the conversation.
I'm just.
I want what you think about this, man?
I understand why he did it, but that's crazy.
It's not for you.
It's not
You
for
can
me.
get a fake one.
Yeah.
I'm not
There's a
walking
prosthetic.
around. I'm
They
not
got
walking
prosthetic
around
They got a
with
pump.
somebody else's penis.
pump?
It's just not
Semi-erect?
going to happen.
Here's what I
Oh,
was
it make you get right?
Here's what I will say in the interest of time, because there's a couple of more that I'm gonna move on to before we get to our discussion
I wonder
about
Is it black
lupus.
or white?
Yeah, how about that?
It's dead.
Do they have to paint it to make sure that it matches? I mean, but anyway, but let me
I'm
just,
assuming if he's matching all of everything has to match. You're probably gonna have to be the same race.
no. Here's why I disagree with that. Because if you get a heart transplant, it don't matter.
Oh, and that's
if you get
true.
blood transfusion, it don't matter. If you get a liver,
Scientifically, race is not a concept.
it's not a concept.
So-
Like we all remember the
Oh
episode.
wow! I learned something new every
We
day.
all remember the episode of All in the Family when Archie was giving blood from a black man and he damn near lost his mind, but his ass ain't died.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so if you were a white dude, which this guy is, because you can tell by the picture,
He wanted a black
he ought to be happy if he got a brother.
He wanted a black man
He ought to be
penile.
happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, go ahead and give me a brother, Joe.
Let me get that joke.
And at 64 years
I
old.
can't with these.
At 60
people.
what?
64, man.
Man, just quit.
Nah, you ain't gonna quit. You gonna quit?
I'm not.
All right, then. Then how you gonna ask this man to quit?
You need to quit.
You ain't gonna quit.
Watch your mouth.
Oh my!
Watch your mouth. Save your teeth. Watch your mouth. Save your teeth.
Hey, don't ask that with Marcus J.
I mean, women get
live from the dead. Legacy.
implants all the time.
Yeah, they do.
go get a butt. You get some breasts. You get it sucked out.
Ooh,
Whatever
okay.
you want. I'm saying, like, liposuction.
No, I
Like
got
women, we famous for getting butts and breasts
But
and
you
doing
know those
everything.
butt implants explode.
Oh, yeah, I
you seen
know.
the women in the gym doing some
Yeah.
squats and
I saw
They're
an
not
article.
safe.
I saw an article. A lady, she was getting Botox in her face, but they injected her with cement, and her whole face was droopy. Yeah, no joke. Her face was droopy. That was shit.
Guess
You
it
saw
wasn't
it?
rubber
Yes, I
cement.
did.
So, Nick, you saw it.
I saw
The
that.
cement?
Yes.
Cement.
The
Cement.
liquid
Cement.
cement.
Liquid cement.
Was it
Yes.
how you make that mistake?
No,
Wow.
she took the cheap route out.
Oh,
Yeah.
she went to one of them home doctors. They be having those little
Oh.
home spots
She
where they
went to
can
old-
inject
she
the
went to
fix
Granny.
a
Down to
flat
South America.
stuff.
The
Let me-
old granny in the
let-
backwoods in New Orleans.
Let me get a couple of let me get a
Go
couple of more quick hits in here
Cement.
before
Oh
we
my
move
God.
and we start talking about some other stuff. First of all, let me shout out a couple of folks that are checking us out. I know that there's some folks that are checking out the live stream, and I know that y'all are out there. Shout out to our sister Jane. We see you, Jane. Shout out to our brother Aaron Turner. Shout out to my brother Chuck is checking us out. What's up, Kenyon? We see you, brother. And we got Troy is out there. Marvin is checking us out. Our sister Melanie, also in the Shy, is checking out. Mahir's Barbershop back home in Jersey. They all checking out the live stream. Shout out to all of y'all. We appreciate y'all checking us out here on Ain't No Half Steppin' with Marcus J. We are live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. We appreciate y'all. When the live stream shuts down, definitely make sure that y'all pick us up on TuneIn. So go to your smartphone, go to your iPhone or whatever it is you use to connect to the internet. Go to TuneIn the application or TuneIn the website. Plug in Legacy Internet Radio, 3 words, Legacy Internet Radio, and you will catch us live. We going until we stop talking tonight. The next thing that I want to get to, Shane, I want you up on this one first. Yeah, this one is about a lady who she was just trying to go about her business, man. She just plugged in GPS to go where she was trying to go, and it told her to turn left, and when she turned left, she ended up in the lake.
First of all, she ain't see that big old lake right there.
It was nighttime. It was dark
It was
out,
at night.
and she
still.
she
yeah, but still though.
It's a lake, man.
I mean,
she didn't
maybe
realize
she was not in the
What
right
it was
state of
hiding
mind.
behind a building or something?
She didn't realize that she was in the lake until she was in the lake.
She was driving Miss
Maybe
Daisy.
it was like dark and she just took the left and just it was
Nope.
nothing right there.
I blame it on her kids and grandkids for letting her drive at night.
That's not right.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Was she
Sandy?
elderly?
How old was she?
70.
70. She can't see.
Wait a minute, hold on.
No, I'm just saying that it's dark outside and the lake is right there. Like
They got high beams though.
I mean,
But she's 70.
she's 70. Let's take age and all that into
A
account.
factor. Okay.
Okay.
If you're gonna take age into account, then you need to hold DMV responsible. Because they should take people who's just 70 years old.
She should sue DMV.
But at the same time, what you saying that though, when you turn 70, you want them to take your license away
When
from
I
you?
turn 70, I'm gonna have somebody chauffeur my fat high pints
I
around.
know that's right.
I got kids.
Pops J is 74, and he's one of the few people
To each his
that could
own.
drive me anywhere.
Okay.
You know, I ride in the car with Pops J. So
Well, you know, the same, like my dad, he's never going to die, first of all. So he'll be
Nope.
driving when he's 100.
Yeah, your dad
But
ain't
my
going
mom, I tell her, after 4 o'clock,
Sit
you need to
down.
be in the house. You had all day to do what you got. You retired.
Actually, 3:30.
Go somewhere and sit down. And leave the nighttime driving to folk that can see.
I have a question.
And maneuver.
Yeah, my
But
mom's 73.
you might need to
She
sit
still
down too,
roll.
though, because you can't see too good at night.
what's up, Sean?
But I can maneuver.
Did the GPS was the GPS wrong or was she wrong?
Let me see here. Basically, she's unidentified, so we've been saying she's 70, but we don't know if she's 70 or not. This is in Canada. This is in Ontario. She turned down a boat launch and found herself sinking.
A boat launch. Wait a minute. A boat launch. Wait, she should have known that the gravel had changed.
It kind of goes off the road, and the launch just drops all of a sudden.
So it's just like a boat.
Luckily, the woman was able to roll down her window and wiggle into the water, which was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and swim about 100 feet to shore.
She won't 70 because she won't do no wiggling and no swimming.
So it's
But
safe
it did,
to say
right
she
at
was
the top,
not
at the
70.
top. It says 70.
They might be exaggerating.
Nah, it's a different. That's a different
Oh, you
article.
took- you turned-
Yeah,
oh,
it was,
okay.
Well-
that was not that. It's a different article.
I mean, I think if she should have known that the gravel would have changed to a boat launch. Like that's like what?
No, not necessarily, because some boat launches are cement.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, you might be right.
But if
Yeah,
you know that there's water around and you
it's
hear
dark
splash,
at night.
I don't give a flip floor filth how dark it is. If you
I
don't know
don't
where
know.
you're going, stay at home.
But
GPS.
GPS was
on the
wrong
GPS,
or right?
though, the GPS should have seen on the map portion
Well,
of it.
here's the other thing,
Should've shown
and
the water, right? She probably
without
sued
getting
GPS
into
lady.
too much of what I do when I'm not here for Legacy Internet Radio, what I will say is this: my full-time job causes me to spend a lot of time in a car, and I have to use a GPS, and I'm oftentimes in different parts of Virginia, not just here in the Richmond area, and I also know that GPS is not always accurate. GPS can have you in a bad spot if you follow it all the time to a T. And so while we're having fun at this lady's expense, because I know firsthand how your ass might end up in a lake, you know, I'm not sure that I'm about to throw dirt on this lady. I brought it up so that we can clown
Things
her.
can happen.
But I mean, now I'm going to just go ahead and keep it
Things
100.
happen. You know,
I found myself in places where I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, how did I
understand
get
how
here?
you and Joe could end up in a lake.
You think Joe could end up in the lake?
Absolutely. Well,
I'm not
that's
going to end up
true.
in the lake.
You can't float.
What?
can't.
I'm buoyant.
I mean, we can't
He
say
can float.
I'm buoyant.
Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J live from the Den, Legacy and it Radio. All right, two quick things that I want to get to before we get out of the segment. In the next segment, we're going to live stream again, and we're going to talk about lupus. Lupus is something that is very important, and we're going to discuss it. But the this is one I'm going to. I don't know how to appropriately bring this up without offending people. And normally, I don't worry about offending people.
You want me to do it?
No, don't do that. But this one is kind of odd because it's about some tourists who go to a park, and when they get to the park, they find a newborn bison, and the newborn bison, they look at it and they think it's cold. They think the newborn bison is cold, And so ignoring all the signs that says do not touch the animals, they pick up the newborn bison.
A bison.
A bison. They pick up the newborn bison and put it in the back of their car and drive it however the distance, not very far at all, to the main part of the park. When they get there, the people like, what the hell did y'all just do? So they take the baby bison. They try to reunite the baby bison with the mother. But that little bit of time that they took the baby bison away from the mother,
like the humans.
the baby bison and the mother could no longer connect. The mother rejected it.
Yep.
And so the sad part of the end of the story is they had to euthanize the baby bison.
Because nobody could take care of it.
Because nobody could take care of it.
Oh, my God.
So Nick, jump in here first. What the
Okay.
hell? For real?
Hooked on phonics worked for everybody. I'm hoping that people would heed the warning. The sign is there for a reason. Don't touch what ain't human. I mean, animals supposed to be with animals. Humans supposed to be with humans. Just leave that alone.
I think that those people had a beautiful heart because they probably thought that something was wrong. They probably were some hippies or something. I don't want to say race or something. They probably were just like, oh, my God.
She's right, though.
A baby.
That's what I was thinking.
It's by itself, you know what I'm saying? It needs help. You know, they probably wasn't thinking to the longevity that, you know, certain animals in the wild, if you disconnected with its mother for any amount of time or your scent gets on the animal.
Right.
Some animals in the wild will actually kill their young because
That's right.
because they smell like something else or it's not familiar to them. I don't think that they did it on purpose, but it is a reason for a sign.
I think they did it on purpose because the sign is there that tells you do not touch.
I think they did it on purpose, first of all. And I also think, have you ever been a bison? How you know the bison cold? Don't be touching the bison. I mean, like, they took it because they thought it was cold. That's stupid. Are you a bison?
That's like...
You see all that fur the bison got?
This is the reason why I love Kim. You know why? Because I ain't got to talk. Because that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, how the hell?
How do you know if the bison cold?
This the first thing you see when you
They
go to
just
these
felt
places. They tell you
compassionate
don't...
about it. I don't know.
But they tell you don't touch the animals,
Yeah,
man.
I don't
you.
touch
I don't
no
think
animal.
that's compassion. I think that's entitlement.
I just think it was stupid.
You are on,
Yeah.
first of all, you're somewhere that is not yours, and you
Right.
are touching things that do not belong to you.
Don't you teach your kids not to do that?
Right,
Yeah.
don't
Exactly.
touch. That's entitlement that you think you can come to my house and open my refrigerator and take out my bison burger. I mean, like, you
Bison
can't.
burger.
Oh, did you say bison burger?
You can't. They
I mean-
euthanized them. I mean, maybe.
They
no.
cooked them?
I mean, but if you was in a reptile house, would
Hey,
you
look.
like one of the cages and take one of the reptiles out?
No, I would
I needed
not.
a bill.
That's pretty true.
Not unless you want to get bit by a snake or
Ate by a
ate
crocodile.
So why would you think it was okay to touch this bison unless your intent was?
The end piece of the story is they were cited, and you know they have some legal implications that they
gotta pay for.
that they'll need to deal with.
They have to pay for it.
Ain't no half step with Marcus J. Live from Dan Legacy and that rate. Last thing I want to get to, Miss 3375. This man ripped off this woman's hijab and screamed, "This is America."
What?
She got on a hijab. A man in North Carolina
He was
ripped off
dead
a
wrong.
Muslim woman's hijab and screamed, "This is America," during a Southwest airline flight late last year. Now, the story is a common occurrence if we're paying attention to subtle stories across the country. This particular one is just breaking now, even though it happened in December. Mr. 3375. Gil Parker Payne is a 37-year-old man from Gastonia, North Carolina, who pleaded guilty in North Carolina federal court Friday to a misdemeanor hate crime charge of using force to intentionally obstruct the woman's free exercise of her religious beliefs. In a plea agreement, Payne admitted to being aboard a Southwest Airlines flight from Chicago to Albuquerque on December 11/15 when he saw the woman wearing the hijab a few rows ahead of him. Near the end of the flight, Payne, who acknowledged that he knew the hijab is of a religious significance to Muslims, walked up the aisle of the plane, stood next to the Muslim woman, who he did not know, and whom prosecutors have identified only as K.A. Payne then said something along the lines of, "Take it off, this is America," before pulling it off of her head. Prosecutors said that K.A. felt violated and quickly put it back on. Payne's plea agreement calls for 2 months of home detention, according to his attorney, Amber Fireberg, the court approved the plea agreement on Friday. A sentencing hearing has yet to be scheduled, but it will determine the length and conditions of his probation. Quote, Mr. Payne has taken responsibility for his actions, and he's sorry for them. He's ready to begin the healing process and will move forward. True to form, I'm not going to read any more, but what I will say is this happened right around the time. That's actually a couple of days before Donald Trump said that we should call for a blanket ban on Muslim entering the country. It also came a couple of weeks after the attack in San Bernardino, and a month after the attack in Paris. And so not sure that any of that matters, but I will make sure that I add that. Shout out to the co-host of the show, our sister S.Y. Butler. If she was here, I would ask her, where did I get this article from? And she would say, the Huffington Post. Mr. 3375, you up first, brother. What you got?
I'm just surprised the dude ain't get cut for ripping her hijab off. Like that's a serious hate crime, and just get detention at home. I think it should get some time for that because it's a hate crime.
You rip a woman's hijab off in any Middle Eastern country, you're getting beheaded. Okay, that right. I have lots of Muslim friends, and they are that is very sacred to them. That is their connection with God, and that's uncalled for. And 2 months of detention. That's really?
Kim, jump in.
I can't even address the punishment phase, but I want to address, what does being American have to do with her being Muslim?
Well, we already know.
Right, but that's what
rhetorically you're asking.
Yes, I mean the notion that America is a Christian nation, and then we have all of these heathen nations on the other side of the world. It's so ridiculous. It was so disrespectful. Like you said, I'm surprised he didn't get cut. Clearly, she was on that plane without any of her male family.
Absolutely.
Because if male family had been, then there would have been some U.S. Marshals involved.
Not only that, here's the unfortunate reality. Nick, I'm going to get you in a minute, but I want Joe to respond to the comment that I'm about to make, and then I'll get you in. But if one of her male Muslim family members had been on that plane and dealt with that, how they deal with it in their culture, the story would not have been white man rips off hijab. The story would have been Muslim attacks white man.
It wouldn't have been Muslim. It would have been terrorist.
Terrorist.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we say what it would have been. It would have been terrorist attack white man on plane.
Yes.
Retired elderly white man.
Yeah.
On plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Meek, jump in here.
No, Joe said exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
From the word go, I was saying, hey, this is an act of terrorism, but it's towards someone else, though.
Right. I think that. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
Well, we discuss this all the time. We know that we never classify things the way that they should be classified because of what we said earlier about entitlement.
Right.
When we feel that we're entitled, whether it be white folk in America or, well, that's the only people I can think of right now who think they're entitled.
Right.
But them white folk in America think they're entitled to do what they want to do and don't feel that there are any consequences for the actions that they do. I mean, let's just be real. You get your hands cut off in Turkey for stealing. If you peeping Tom, you get your eye poked out. Yeah. So whatever he did, the consequences should have been that. But I mean, to pull off a woman's hijab, I mean, for her, first of all, that's a disgrace. She could go home back to her people, and then they would be just like that bison
against
her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There could be retribution against her.
Yeah.
Yep.
She could get stoned. I mean, they still do that.
Oh,
Exiled.
absolutely.
Yeah, they still do stuff like that.
Shout out to SY, who is watching the live stream right now. Shout out to Big Sis and whatnot. And she knows that I just shouted her out and called out the Huffington Post. So shout out Big Sis. We miss you. We'll see you soon. Shout out to our sister Toyana, who is checking us out on the live stream as well. Ain't no hashtag on Marcus J. We're going to take a break, but before we do that, I'm going to just say this last thing about this particular story. Basically, I got called task when I said that thug is the new N-word, which I feel very strongly about. And you also know that I don't use that word. I'm also a person who's very, very clear about codes and things of that sort. You ain't going to hear the American media refer to a white person as a terrorist. You just not. I think you should, unless it's Timothy McVeigh who blows up a building with 150 50 people dying, then he's a terrorist. You know, but this dude that we just talked about, that's terroristic act to pull off someone's hijab, and for him to only get house arrest is about as outrageous as anything that I've seen. This is not a Christian nation, but I think that the people who run this country think that it is. Matter of fact, I know that that's what they think, and it's unfortunate for those of us who are not Christians because we have to fall in line with that kind of thought process, and we have to see stories like this, which is a very clear example of a hate crime. And as far as I'm concerned, a hate crime is punishable by far more than 2 months of house detention. Ain't no how Steppin